Charlotte Burns Salter has the distinction of being the longest living Burns. For the sake of science, it is important to understand what has contributed to her longevity. In her formative years, Charlotte Salter was known as the bombshell from Ken Burma. She was as wild as the horses she loved to ride, until she corralled a learned fellow with an unquestioned pedigree. Charlotte first fell in love with Leonard when she heard him playing the piano at a party, surrounded by a crowd of swooning women. Charlotte also had a flair for the arts. As an accomplished painter, an avid collector, a passionate smuggler, and a successful gallery owner. Charlotte also claims to have enjoyed being a mother, as she not only nurtured her three sons, but coached their teams as well. In other words, she fulfilled her role as a tomboy throughout her life, in spite of her grace, charm, and beauty. On the other hand, the boys, or his three sons, provided the lines for Leonard's opening act, and no one loved his routine better than he did. All my sons were named after the kings of England, King Charles I, King Richard II, and King William III. All their names have 7 letters, and what's more, they're all born in January, so as not to interfere with the golf season. Charlotte and Leonard could have been the poster couple for Planned Parenthood, to add a line. Charlotte also came from very good stock. Her father, James, was bold and savvy, leaving a long legacy for a short-lived life, including how he defied his neighbors and a town by building a large play area with a foundation on Nantasket Beach for Charlotte's children, while Leonard was in the army serving his country. Charlotte's mother, Jeanette, was a maverick in her own right, captivating everyone she met with a beauty and stately manner that provided a smokescreen for her barroom humor. And of course, there was Sadie, mother's childhood nanny, who was remembered dearly by all she knew for her small stature and towering spirit. Charlotte fell totally in love with Leonard, including his Save the World dream, which is now popularly referred to in liberal circles as flush toilet diplomacy, or if everyone had a working toilet, there would be peace in the world. Charlotte's 3 sons inherited the best of both of their parents. Charles, the oldest and the quietest, is much like his father, as they both achieved widespread recognition in their chosen field of business, and further excelling as students and later as teachers. Charles also carried his mother's artistic gene, filling the rooms of the family home with Calder-like mobiles, when in his early life he aspired to be an architect. Richard, on the other hand, never desired to be either a teacher or a student. He simply enjoys being the loudest person in the room. He does take pleasure in playing the piano daily like his father, and did inherit his mother's boundless passion, enthusiasm for life, and bathroom humor. William, the third son, a respected and much loved family physician, was the noblest of all, inheriting his mother's heart and generous spirit. He unfortunately died at a young age of 49. To quote from his eulogy, delivered at his funeral in front of 1,500 tearful admirers, "Your legacy lives on in your family and in your patients, who will always carry with them a little piece of your heart, a very large heart, unfortunately not a very strong heart." Charlotte has been a loving sister, sister-in-law,
grandmother, and aunt.
There has always been room at her table and in her heart for one more. Mother hated the thought that someone would be alone during a holiday. This led to some strange guests at her table, including a young Russian who brought his own homemade vodka. Mother had a lust for life and Chinese food. When she traveled, her passport was her smile and her appetite. Leonard could not have been happier if he had a harem, because he had in Charlotte the beautiful wife, the energetic wife, the artistic wife, the loving wife, the wife who bore him his 3 sons. Charlotte was also the wife who could cook once a week, Sunday lunch, a 4-inch thick steak, bone in. Mother waited patiently for the bone, her delicacy. Speaking of bones, Mother loved dogs, which included Peggy, her family dog, Lucky, the not-so-fortunate adopted Cantor's dog who died within minutes of consuming food meant for Leonard, cooked by Charlotte's mother-in-law. Then there was Lady, Richard's found dog. And last was Judge, the German shepherd that Charlotte hid from Leonard when he was convalescing from eye surgery. You see, Leonard hated anything with fur, which included dogs, cats, and horses, which does not explain his love for his full-length raccoon coat. Looking back on Charlotte and Leonard's life can only take you so far. However, their life's lessons are timeless. Charlotte has always been totally committed to those she loves. In fact, she became fulfilled when Leonard had his stroke. In other words, she finally had the relationship with him she always wanted. She could now take care of him. Charlotte and Leonard both stressed the importance of education for their children, which contributed greatly to their future success, and Richard spending a summer in Latin camp. Leonard and Charlotte were also visionaries in their own right. Charlotte saw beauty in everything she painted, and another kind of beauty in the many people she loves. When she lost her sight, she did not skip a beat. She simply renewed her imaginary passport, and she and Leonard revisited every faraway place they once enjoyed together. With Nellie at the wheel, Charlotte's life continued to blossom, adopting daughters that would tend to her every need. Leonard's vision was global. His strength was language, feeling that his words could change the world. When Leonard lost his sight, his view of the world was not diminished. In fact, it was heightened by his following the day's happenings on CNN until the day he died. These are the values that Charlotte and Leonard instilled in their children and helped shape their lives. the lives of their grandchildren, and everyone who knew them. Charlotte and Leonard have a shared legacy. They would have been lost without each other. Two incomplete lives became a classic love story, the fruits of which will be enjoyed for and by many generations.